From Boston, Massachusetts, to Adelaide, Australia, and everywhere in between. Talking local and national sports and just about anything discussed in a tavern. Broadcasting from South Lyon, Michigan. Welcome to Easy Speak at Speakeasy 330 with your hosts, Rich and Tom.
We are back midweek. What's up?
Nothing much. Wednesday, probably one of the most amateur days of the year that I feel, besides New Year's Eve, is St. Patrick's Day.
Everybody's Irish.
It doesn't matter who you are Irish. It doesn't matter.
For sure.
But you know what, though? If it's a good time to go out, spend some time with some friends, family, enjoy some good corned beef.
Corned beef.
You know, and I was so lazy today, I have in the refrigerator, and I didn't even think about it. I bought some Irish bangers, and I was going to make bangers and mash.
Bangers?
But since we're getting ready to head out on a excursion tomorrow, I didn't feel like making anything. But here we are.
Yep. I had my St. Patty's Day meal over the weekend when I made the beef brisket and corned beef burgers. Courtesy of Chef Dave.
Yeah, Chef Dave.
So I was Irish last week.
You're Irish just for one day, right?
Just for one day.
That's good.
Although some think that I'm Irish, but I don't know. We're just mutts, us Sloans.
Yeah, well, I'm in the same boat you're in. I'm just it's like they put a bunch of shit in a bucket, put a paddle in there, and mixed it around.
Yeah, whatever came out.
So during the course of this time, we've been talking about the show and everything like that for this week. Or one of the things that came to mind is I wanted to maybe try to find a specific memory that we may have had about St. Patrick's Day, whether it's something personal or something that you saw on the interwebs and everything like that. And between us going back and forth, I think this video pretty much sums up probably the most ridiculous thing that a news could report anywhere, and realistically only in Alabama that I could probably think that this would happen. But
it was a slow news day down there.
It was an extremely slow news day. So take a look at this video.
Well, just in time for St. Patrick's Day, crowds are coming by the dozens to get an up-close view at what some say is a piece of Irish folklore.
Some people in the Crichton area of Mobile say a leprechaun is taking up residence in their neighborhood. A leprechaun. NBC 15's Brian Johnson has more.
Curiosity leads to large crowds in Mobile's Crichton community. Many of you bring binoculars, camcorders, even camera phones to take pictures.
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. All I gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else in the leprechaun say yeah?
Eyewitnesses say the leprechaun only comes out at night. If you shine a light in its direction, it suddenly disappears. This amateur sketch resembles what many of the
sketch absolutely kills me.
It's not a Picasso.
Come up with their own theories and explanations.
I don't know what you would call it.
My theory is it's casting a shadow from the other limb.
He's probably the only realistic guy out of it.
Right.
That's a crackhead.
This guy's got all the tricks of the trade. The guy's got a tactical belt.
Yep.
Don't be afraid, man.
This guy helping traffic says he's prepared for his encounter with the leprechaun.
He sounds like Dave Chappelle when he's talking.
Spells right here. This is a special leprechaun flute passed down thousands of years ago.
Thousands of years.
His great grandfather, thousands of years.
A pot of gold buried under this tree.
I'm gonna run a backhoe and uproot that tree. I want to know where to go.
Where to go at?
I want to go. Give me the go. I want to go.
This is Brian Johnson. NBC
Brian Johnson should lose his job.
Anything.
You know what I like? I like
Brian Johnson should absolutely just lose his job for that.
Well, I think Brian Johnson probably was like, fuck you. I'm out. This was the most ridiculous assignment you ever gave to me.
Of course.
I'm out.
Yeah,
bye.
Exactly. I forgot that there was one guy not too long ago. It was on I think I saw it on YouTube, but there was a guy who was a traffic guy, and he was standing on the side of the road. Dude, trucks zooming by him and like that, and the lady had said his name wrong. And he's like, well, if I'm going to be out here risking my life talking about potholes. At least you could do is say my name right. I mean, just some of the garbage stories that, but everybody, it's like starting a job. You got to start your way at the bottom. And I guess chasing a leprechaun that's really not there. And
why not give it to the newbie?
Oh, exactly.
Have the guy go to the hood and report on this leprechaun.
but I mean, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, you go down the rabbit hole and just look up like reporters. There's some stuff that happens live on camera, like the one where the horsefly flew in his mouth, and he started just cussing.
He was very proper, and then all of a sudden, shit, what the fuck, mother?
I'm in this bumfuck town, just going, but that type of stuff. But you know what though? I tell you that so far this week, today is the first day of the league for the NFL, and as we talked about previously about some of the trades that have already been made, so now it is official, pen to paper. Matthew Stafford is now a LA Ram.
Yep,
and Jared Goff is here in Detroit to lead our Pontiac Pussycats.
Yeah, the much anticipated trade happening today. No surprises there, but the Lions have been making some moves. They're calling it a rebuild or a retool. But in the same token, with the cuts they're making some good signings, and they're making signings that are going to really improve the team.
Oh yeah, today the trade for
Michael Brockers,
yeah, and he's kind of in a little, in a little bit of a pickle himself. I mean, and he really didn't. I'm not going to say it was I don't view it as something that would be negative towards Jared Goff, but he had come out and made a statement, and it was kind of more on the lines of, hey, we got Matthew Stafford. It's an upgrade. And I think it was more of on the lines of the experience, probably more of a veteran presence at a very important position on the field. He makes that comment, and then he gets traded to the Lions, and he's going to be in the same locker room as Jared Goff.
The question is, did he have no idea that he was going to be on the trading block? Because what Detroit gave up for him, a 7th round in 2023, sounds like they wanted to run this guy out of town.
Yeah, we got him for nothing. I mean, he's a serviceable guy.
He looked good. Of course, anybody looks good against sitting next to Aaron Donald, but with the Lions, Aquara, and Trey Flowers in a new defensive scheme, you never know. And
exactly.
And again, I hate it. We go back to, you throw a linebacker in there that's worth a damn. That front seven could be something to think about. But are they rebuilding? It's hard to say. They've definitely made a lot of cuts, necessary cuts. Most of the players that the former regime brought in they're Patriots, so they can good riddance, and then. Well,
you can't say good riddance to those guys. I mean, those guys, I don't blame a professional athlete, especially some of these guys towards the end of their careers. They're like, okay, I might have maybe a good solid 3 years left, still serviceable.
Mm-hmm.
No other team wanted them, but they wanted them, and they were willing to pay money. I don't blame those guys for chasing money.
Yeah, go where they're comfortable.
I do not. It's at the end of the day, it's a business.
Sure.
No matter how you look at it. Yeah, if your team sucks, your team sucks. But at the end of the day, they're just like you and I.
Mm-hmm.
They go to work. Obviously, they make quite a bit more C notes than I do.
Right.
But the thing is, though, you can't fault them for, and that's all part of the negotiations, and that's it is what it is. You can't sit there and say it was the regime. The regime brought them in.
Well, right.
And there's like, okay, well, fine. If you want to pay me, you want to pay me $5 million a year to come here and play. Okay.
They definitely got paid,
because the other offers they were getting were probably like 1.5 or 2 million. They're like, well, for $3 million more, I might as well suck it up towards the end of my career and go to Detroit.
Well, take for example, Justin Coleman just gets cut. They brought him here for $9 million a season last year, and he goes to Miami. I want to say,
I think he went to Miami for
$2.75 million. So it just goes to show you that
But that's the thing, though. When you're as bad as the Detroit Lions
You got to overspend.
I'm not going to say are as were because obviously we're not.
Right.
They won't say rebuild or
a different era.
It's a retool and stuff like that. They had to get anybody to even look the way towards Allen Park, Michigan. Was they had to go like this and open their wallet up and show them all them. They had to fan the money out for
pay that man his money.
They had to pay. They had to pay and they had to overpay.
Sure.
To get, I mean, that's the only way that's the only way they made it attractive here.
That's the MO with most of the teams here in Detroit. You got to overpay to get something, but
right now you do. You have to right now. You have to overpay to get looks and notices. But there's going to come a point in time where instead of us being like a final destination, we might be a first destination for players.
Well, when you have a coach like the knee biter MCDC, who is, he's like a Vrabel. He's like a Mike Vrabel type of coach.
Yep.
Who is, he's a no nonsense, who's going to be on the football field with these guys. You want to go to battle for him. So I think that alone is going to attract possible free agents. And then on top of that, the guys that are here, they're going to give their opinions of them. Like, dude, you want to play for this guy. And I think that's going to draw. So, it's going to be a process. I think it's a 2 to 3 year.
Yeah. We're
struggle.
We're out. I want to say probably for everything to come to fruition or maturity. We're looking at probably 2 to 3 years before everything that has been done so far is going to pay dividends, not only for the team itself, but also the fan base.
Yeah.
And the thing is everybody says, be patient. But then when you look at it, we've been patient since 1957.
Yeah. Been rebuilding since 57.
But realistically, what's another 2 years when you've already been going on for that long?
Because the thing that I look at is they're doing the things that Lions fans have always wanted.
Yeah.
They're bringing in the right people.
Oh, for sure.
They're kind of listening to what the fans want.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in John Dorsey, who he was, they showed him down at a pro day. I don't know who he was down looking at, but just the simple fact that John Dorsey, who's responsible for basically building the Chiefs, basically building the Browns, the guy, he's a winner.
Oh, yeah.
And he might be cocky and he may have worn out his welcome at a couple places, but when you have a first year GM in Brad Holmes, having that backup, having that guy there that's going to kind of teach you the ropes.
It's having that voice in the room.
Yeah, it's huge.
Even if he goes into a meeting and sits in the corner and nobody knows he's there, just his presence in that room
absolutely
just elevates everybody else around him.
And that alone gives me hope that whatever they do with the 7th pick, whatever they do, moving forward, they're going to do with the intentions of making the team better, building the program, changing the culture, getting away from that Ford family culture. And I really think that Sheila has done that. So it's exciting. I'm willing to give them the time. The moves they're making right now tell me that they're serious about winning. And you know what? They're going to go for it. And I don't think Dan Campbell's going to say, we're going to throw in the towel. They're going to go for it every single week.
There's a lot of fire and there's a lot there when it comes just to, Dan Campbell's presence, on the sidelines, probably in the meeting rooms with the players coming up shortly here. And then just being that guy, and it's really a breath of fresh air and that tenacity that he has.
Yep.
And
it's so different than what we're used to.
Oh yeah, and then also some of the signings that they've made, then some of the trades that they've made and stuff like that really shows a difference. And one guy that they're bringing in on a free agent is Jamal Williams, the running back that is coming from Green Bay. He's coming on a 2-year, $7.5 million deal.
Cheap.
But you know what though? Just watch that guy. Just watch, and it's one of those things is he's not a cocky guy from what I've seen of him.
He's got character.
He is a character guy.
He's going to be a fan favorite around.
Oh, and exactly. He's a character guy. And I think his character is something that's going to resonate
with
in
other players
in a positive way.
Yep.
And, and I think it's going to be more a very motivational for players. Where does that put him at on the depth chart with Swift and everything like that?
He'll be.
It remains to be seen. But
what are they going to do with Kerryon Johnson? I think they like Kerryon Johnson.
No, I mean Kerryon Johnson has just been a victim of the injury bug. I mean, ever since he got drafted, he came out when he got drafted, and he was great. I mean, he
had injury bug issues in college.
Yeah, but when he came, when he came here, he ran the ball well. He still can run the ball well. And realistically, I look at it from one way is he didn't get. Let's face it. Let's face facts here. In the last couple of years, the Detroit Lions could not establish a run game because of they were always playing from behind.
Yeah.
So when you're playing from behind, you're gonna.
They become very predictable.
No, and their game planning might have been 50-50 or 60-40 pass run ratio. But when you go in and you get absolutely you get torched
right out the chute.
Yeah, and you're playing from behind. And when you're playing,
so your game plan's thrown out the window.
When you're playing from behind halfway into the first quarter for the rest of the game, you can't expect to blame. We don't have a running game. We don't have a running game. The running game is just one facet of the game, and you got a defense. And the defense at times looked really good, and there's at times where it looked horrendous.
Oh yeah,
and and that's why they call it any given Sunday.
Sure,
it doesn't matter what it is. They almost they almost beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Two seasons ago. 2 seasons ago.
They took an overtime.
Oh yeah, I was at that game, and I'll tell you, it was electrifying.
Oh, I bet.
And and for me to go to a Lions game, it's got to be like free tickets, a free parking pass, because that's just at the time that was that's my feeling. That's my belief. I'm trying to keep an open mind with it, and I will. I'm going to give, just like I gave Patricia and Quinn, a little bit of a free pass. To Brian.
Wait a minute.
I did. I said it. Regime. My apologies.
Okay. As long as you know. As long as you know you made the mistake.
I did, and I realized that after I said it.
Carry on.
But I gave them the benefit of the doubt. So I was kind of like but then it turned sour, just like it has. So.
But yeah, I mean, bringing in Jamal Williams, who kind of got squeezed out of Green Bay since they brought Aaron Jones back. He's Aaron Jones 2.0. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's fast. He's strong. So
you know what else he does? He doesn't fumble the ball.
Yeah.
He protects the ball.
And that's Kerryon's big flaw. But so the offense is shaping up to look real nice. You got Hippie Hawkinson at tight end. They brought in Hill from New Orleans.
Now let me ask you this: they brought Hill in from New Orleans, and they got Hawkinson still. So some of the rumors I've been hearing as of late, and don't shake your head. This is open for discussion. Let's be constructive about this. So a lot of people are saying that if Kyle Pitts is available, that the Lions might take him. And so hold on here. I'm not a huge fan of them drafting another tight end, but this kid's special. He is. And
I'll give you that.
And I think he's
a playmaker.
Yeah, exactly. He's a playmaker.
It's hard to think what type of tight end he is compared to in the NFL. I think Hawkinson's a little bit bigger. Kyle Pitts is more of a receiving tight end. You could even line him up in the slot.
And that's exactly what I was going to bring up. I was going to say he could be a guy who would be very versatile to that offense, because if you have, you say you run a two tight end offense or two tight ends on a play, you could take him and you can idealistically put him in the slot.
The reason why I shake my head is because it's SOL. It's the same old Lions. You bring in another tight end. yeah, this guy is special. He's different. He's kind of a game changer. So if they brought him in, of course, I have my opinions, but
your opinion, I mean, let's just state that your opinion is you don't want them to take him, and I respect that.
First glance, no.
But here's the thing: is I agree with you too. Mm-hmm. But then when I don't want them to take a tight end. My personal opinion, if you're not going to take a Trey Lance if he's there, or if you're not going to take that guy who's going to be your future, then my personal opinion, you trade down. You find a suitable trading partner. You trade down. You try to get more draft capital because remember, this is not a sprint. This is just going to be a marathon. It's going to be a long, drawn out process.
Here's the thing to look out for, and this kind of goes into our next point. New England. Let's just say Belichick didn't take Brady winning the Super Bowl very lightly. Grumblings that they're looking to move up to get one of the big quarterbacks. I am absolutely in favor of the Lions trading down to get more picks because we spoke on this before. The Lions have to build this team through the draft.
Yeah, you have more
filling holes. Yep,
than
absolutely.
What you really think you have.
You're not going to get the top echelon free agents coming in. So to get more, so if let's say they trade down and to get an extra pick or two, I'm all in favor.
Yeah,
because there's this draft to me is loaded.
And realistically, it doesn't have to be a pick in this year's draft. If you move back to 12, let's just say if you move back to 12, and with San Francisco, because what if San Francisco wants to move up? And that's what's nice and intriguing about the draft is because for us sitting out here talking about it, every single, and I got some buddies that I work with. I mean, you want to talk about like a draft scenario.
Yeah.
Those two guys are those three guys, man. You want to talk about, putting it all out on a board and be like, all right, look, so if this happens, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And that's what's intriguing about watching, the NFL draft is we can sit here and for us, it's all based on speculation.
Like, sure.
We're speculating on if they're going to, who are they going to, I mean, given we know that who's going to be like number 1 overall, and be honest with you, number 2 overall is kind of a toss up. We don't know.
To me, what Detroit does depends on who they want.
True.
If they want the receiver, they're going to stay. If they're willing to move back because they want a particular linebacker that we won't mention because if you've listened, you know who that is. Then they're going to move back.
Yeah.
Because I do believe he'll be there. So it all depends on really where they're looking.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of teams, and San Francisco is one of them, that it's clear Shanahan does not like Jimmy G. Not that he doesn't like him. He doesn't have a whole lot of faith in him. No. So he's no doubt going to look for his replacement.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
There's a team that will be hot for a quarterback, for a potential future franchise quarterback. So there's definitely room for teams to move up. Detroit's sitting at a good position to where there's going to be at least 1, maybe 2, if you consider Matt Jones an elite quarterback, available at their position. So like I said before, it depends on where they want to go. If they're dead set on a playmaking receiver, they're sticking to it.
Yeah.
And if they're, and I think the next week or so is going to determine that, because if they make a push at one of the few receivers that are available, and the market for receivers is the prices come down pretty substantially. So if the Lions bring in another receiver like a TikTok Schuster or Will Fuller, which would be a nice addition, then that kind of tells you that they're going to go defensive.
Yeah, and when we're talking about wide receivers right now, Marvin Jones, God bless him, signed a deal. It was a 2-year, $14.5 million, I believe, but only $9 guaranteed million down in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. Another guy that the Lions had lost to Jacksonville is Jamal Agnew. Jamal Agnew.
That was a big loss.
That is a huge loss because you want to know why? he was a guy.
He could flip the field.
Exactly. And
he could flip the field.
And he was versatile. They would play him in other, a lot of different other positions and stuff like that. That's
you could use
guy.
trick plays and just use him as a decoy, thinking that he might be on. And he wanted to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
But the price tag was too high for pretty much a return man.
But you know what though, I think special teams really sets a tone for a football game by sure. And he was one of those guys. And, I nothing but the best of luck to him, the best wishes to him. He's going down he's going down to a pretty. Minus the fact that Urban Meyer's the head coach, they're going down to Jacksonville. It's going to be exciting times down in Jacksonville.
That team is shaping up. They're putting some pieces together. Good old Herbs. But like I said before, like with some of the Patriots that had come in here, Marvin, he goes to where he's comfortable with. Darrell Bevel, the OC. Yep. He can get right in there. And he made a comment. He wanted to go somewhere and win now. I think Trevor Lawrence will make people forget about Justin Herbert's year last year. He is that kind of a quarterback. Goldilocks is going to come in here into Jacksonville, and I think from day one he's going to be successful. He's got that football IQ.
Yep.
And I think Marvin knew that and saw that going in, being comfortable with the offense.
And they're not done yet because they got a lot of money.
A ton of money.
They got a lot of money to play with. One of the guys we're going to talk about, wide receiver. Okay, Marvin Jones. He did. He went to Jacksonville. Wish him nothing but the best. Kenny Golladay, as of today and as of 7/41, he's still a free agent.
Yep. Which is mind-boggling. But is it?
But exactly. So here's the thing: is I have. He is a good wide receiver. I will say that.
Absolutely, top 10.
He fails to stay healthy. In this past season, he did not help himself and I don't know. See, here's the thing is I've never played a professional sport, so I don't know the bumps and bruises that these guys go through and I'm never going to claim that I do, but he got injured this past season, and they look at when a team's going to sign somebody, they look for somebody who's going to be durable, and they're looking for longevity. And over the course of his career,
his track record,
he has not been able to do that. My personal opinion, he really screwed the pooch when it comes to not taking the Lions offer. Who was ever given him the advice, whether it's his agent or I don't know who it is.
I think it's agent / stubbornness, maybe cockiness.
You're very well, but his agent should have been like, look, Kenny,
18 million.
You know what, Kenny, let's do this. Let's take that money. Let's take the money they offered. I'll try to work the deal down to where we're not going to be stuck in a 3 or 4 year deal. Maybe I can get it down to 2 years. But Kenny, you got to do everything you can do to stay healthy.
Yeah,
you have to do that. Then that would be the only way that you'd be able to pull something like that off.
I question his heart. Maybe this past year.
Yeah, well,
he got hurt. He hurt his back, which I will never question his talent.
His athletic ability and talent is there.
He is, even though his numbers are almost on par with Megatron, he always went up and got the ball. And I think he punished his body, which I'll give him that. But I think he got hurt the first time, and then, I've got a hamstring. And then, I got a hip. And then the hamstring. And he only played like 6 games. And I really think the rest of the league took notice to that.
Yeah.
Because we're going into the 4th day of free agency, and he's not signed. So if he gets 11, 12 million a year, that's going to be 7 to 8 million less than what the Lions offered.
Yep.
And it just.
But then that goes to show you he wasn't interested in being a part of a redo.
I don't think he wanted to be here. And my theory, and this is only my theory, Early on when Stafford, unofficially went to the Rams, I think he had conversations with McVay about possibly bringing in Galladay, being that he's talented, he's familiar with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Kenny was like, oh, shit, yeah, I'm going to the Rams. But hold the fort. You got to have money. And what is the one thing the Rams do not have a whole lot of?
They don't have money, and they don't have draft picks.
Yeah, so I think he put all his eggs in the Ram basket, and it might turn around and come bite him in the ass. But we'll see. He's tonight. I just saw on the NFL Network he's going to the Giants for a visit. Which, I mean,
why would you go from?
You're downgrading, in my opinion.
I mean, why would you go? Well, you know what though? Here's the thing. Remember what I said earlier in the show. If there's a guy who knows, hey, I got 3 years left, I'm going to try to go get as much money as I can. I don't fault him for that. Not at all.
Yeah.
And speaking of other signings that I want to talk about, and I'm super excited about this, the Washington football team.
Oh yeah,
signed my man
Fitz
Magic.
Whew.
1 year, $10 million a year.
It was 12. I want to say it was 12.
I don't know if it was 10 or 12. I glanced at it and saw it,
folks. They're going to win the NFC least.
Oh yeah,
I think
sure.
I don't sleep on Fitzmagic because the football team, they've got pieces. They've got
their defense.
They've got pretty good receivers.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a decent running game, and their defense will keep them in a game. If they win 10 games by 3 points or less, it's because of their defense. But when you have a gunslinger, I mean, Fitzpatrick's a throwback. He's a lot like Favre was. And, he might be a little bit like Stafford with minus the accuracy. But I like that move. I like that move.
As long as he keeps his beard.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the beard's going.
And with, we're talking about, the football team.
I stand corrected. Shit, yeah, just corrected me. 1 year, $10 million.
See, I was right. Thank you.
We love you guys when you can correct us because God knows we're not perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I mean, a lot of this stuff, I glance at it and I just try to remember as much as I can. And I agree with you, Andrew, 100%. Best signing of the year for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
the camera's right there. You don't have to look up there.
Sorry.
You can look here. You can look there.
Shit, yeah.
So, but yeah, no. Their running game. One of the guys that was on the Lions, it was J.D. McKissick.
McKissick, who led the NFL
that guy's a
as running back. I mean, he caught almost 100 balls out of the backfield.
That guy's a battering ram. I don't care what anybody says. He was good.
5'2".
Yeah, he's something, but yeah. So they got him.
I love it. I love it. That's a hell of a pick.
I don't care who the Cowboys put up there. I don't care who the Giants put up there. I just don't care because they're not going to win.
Sorry, Gonzo, but fuck the Cowboys.
I got a couple of buddies that are Cowboys.
God, it just make me gag.
So since we're talking about quarterbacks, the whole speculation.
Red Rover.
Well, hold on a second. Let's go to the potential trade that we heard.
Yeah.
Seattle allegedly turned down 3 first-round picks. Sound's gone. I don't know if it's me, but the sound's gone. I think we're good. That's back. Okay. Thanks, Drew. But they offered the Bears offered the farm.
The neighbor's farm, and then their neighbor's farm.
Yeah. They offered 3 first-round picks, 1 third-round pick, and 2 starters. And Seattle went like this.
One of our Twitter followers suggested maybe Trubisky was the starter, and the Sea Chicken said, "I'm out."
Yeah, and you know what? And my thought behind that is on why Seattle turned that down is because they're like, look, the Bears are not bad.
No,
The Bears are not bad.
the Bears are.
They need
the football team.
They need
in
a
the North.
They need a quarterback.
Yeah.
So they thought to themselves, okay, if we trade Russell Wilson to them, our return isn't going to be how we would like it to be, where we would be potentially up there in the top 15 picks in those 3 drafts. You bring in a guy like Russell Wilson into the fold there.
He's going to make you an instant contender.
It's going to be as long as Aaron Rodgers stays upright and healthy. It'll be Green Bay, and then it'll be Chicago if they would have brought them in, and then it would have been a fight for 3rd and 4th place between the Vikings and the Lions.
So
I see why they said I see why they said no. They're like, well, hey, thanks for the offer, but the return, projecting it down the line. Based on how long they got some of these guys signed for. But they're like, yeah, we don't.
So now, I mean, it was clear they were shopping him. So I don't think necessarily they were shopping. I don't think they were shopping. I think they were like,
they didn't deny. There was a rumor. No, but there was a rumor that came out saying he wants out. He wants out. He wants out.
I don't buy it.
And I think teams are like, oh shit. Chicago's like, man, we can get Russell Wilson. Shit, let's go for it.
The Saints should have, but again, the Saints don't have a whole lot to play with. But so now, look at Russell Wilson, which I saw a video of him today.
Mm-hmm.
He's on his Peloton, and he's literally got 5 trainers surrounding him. He's working out so hard. He's breaking Pelotons left and right. He's got a rep for Peloton in his house watching him work out, because he's gone to a whole nother level with his preparation going into this year.
Well, Pelotons are junk anyway.
Yeah, but still, it just shows that he's motivated.
I mean, and you know what? I'm gonna tell you right now. At this time right now, I'm sure there's a lot of NFL football players that are right there that are not in the stars of like Russell Wilson, that are busting their asses for next season. I mean,
sure.
So, I mean, I think it's probably not any different than some of the other folks that are out there.
I think he started the year on fire and then fizzled out. He needs help, and he's got a running game that on paper was good.
Yeah,
but he can't stay. Chris Carson could never stay healthy.
Yeah, he's got a good wide receiving core and everything.
He's got Metcalf. Yeah, that's so they need pieces. But who did they bring in instead of Russell Wilson?
The soulless ginger, as my brother called him.
The human consolation prize?
Should be called Mr. Irrelevant. Andy Dalton. And here's the knock, though. Let me tell you something. Andy Dalton signed a deal last year with Dallas. And, I mean, we'll call it what it is. He's like, I'm signing this deal. I'm going to be the backup.
Right.
No big deal. That guy wanted no part of being a starter.
Well,
because he was like, he was set, he was probably set in his mind, and see, the thing is with being a quarterback or football or professional athletes, you got to have a sound mind and a sound body. He probably had a sound body, but his mind was like, well, I'm behind Dak. He goes, I might get some snaps when we're up by 42 points.
I'll play in the preseason.
Hey, you know what, guys? We're up this much or whatever. We got the ball back. I'll take those last 3 kneels if you need me to. I mean, that's pretty much what it was.
Well,
but then he got catapulted into it.
And he got his friggin' head, got his cock clean. Yeah. He got laid out. And here's the interesting thing with that. Nobody came to help him up.
No.
They all walked away. He's laying on flat as a pancake on the field.
Yeah, no.
And every one of his offensive linemen basically walked away.
Yeah, right.
So is that a character flaw?
I'll tell you right then and there. If I was Andy Dalton and that happened to me, where you absolutely just get obliterated and not one of your teammates comes up to lift you, help you up off the ground,
call them out.
I wouldn't even call them out. I would, when I walked in there at the end of the game, I would have walked through that tunnel. I would have walked right past the locker room. I would have walked right to the door, out to my car, and fucking left.
Bon voyage.
You know what? And I would tell Jerry Jones, kiss my ass.
That was a pretty.
And I'm not a Jerry Jones fan.
No, not at all. But that was pretty shitty. I mean, the guy, not to mention, he just had come back from COVID, so he was off for like a month. Comes back and he gets curb stomped into the ground, and no help there.
This guy's like, hey, see you later.
But everyone's bagging on him, like Chicago, like the fans are. He's up against it. He's coming into a pretty tough situation.
He's not going to be. He's not going to be the starter. They're gonna trot Foles out there. Yeah, they will. They'll trot Foles out there.
Yeah, for sure. But
then something will happen. Then Foles will be out, and then he'll be back.
They only gave him maybe Andy will correct me, but I think it was only like $3.5-4 million that he got. But it was kind of a low frill cost for the Bears, and maybe they'll catch lightning in a bottle. But the fans aren't happy that they were hoping for Russell and ended up with the Red Rocket. But you know what? That's life in the NFL.
Yeah, and let's move on. I'm starting to get depressed talking about football.
Yeah.
So we got some games coming up here soon.
Oh yeah.
I think we got
playing starts tomorrow.
Yeah, we got some playing. And you know what? I'll tell you right now, I don't watch college basketball until probably like the end of February, the first part of March. That's when I really will start honing in and paying it. I got buddies of mine that'll watch it. They'll watch it every day.
It's a long season.
It is.
It really is. And
this was a unique season because of teams, teams are sitting out for a week or sitting out for 2 weeks and stuff like that. But
it doesn't get exciting until, right around the start of March, end of February.
So in talking about different memorable plays that we had growing up watching, and I always remember this. I'll always remember this play. It was Duke versus Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
And this is back when
Christian Laettner.
Everybody hates Christian Laettner. Yep. But I'll never forget it. It was at the Philadelphia Spectrum, if I'm not mistaken.
Who threw the pass?
I want to say it was it was Grant Hill.
Yes.
There was 2 Hills on the team. It was Grant Hill and there was another Hill that was on the team. But
the future Piston.
All they said was get it to Laettner.
Yep.
That's all he did. And I watched that 30 for 30 on that guy, and people hate him, but the dude was just like
they hated him because he wasn't on their team.
Yeah, exactly.
He was a winner.
So that one was one that really stuck out of my mind. That I remember. I remember sitting in the living room. When I was a kid growing up, I was watching the game with my old man. We're sitting there watching the game, and it was seconds left or whatever. And my dad, his family being from Kentucky. It was like, hey, the Wildcats, and everybody hated Duke. Everybody hated Duke. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if Mike Krzyzewski came in and gave you $1 million, said root for Duke. They'd be like, no. They'd be like,
especially in Kentucky.
We'd be like, Mike, with all due respect, eat shit.
Hey, Mike, with a stupid last name, no.
Yeah. So, and this is one that we both agreed on that was pretty special, and this was a couple of years ago.
3 years ago to the date.
Yep.
And it's inbounding. So the pass is going to come from Livers. He rifles it right in front of us to Abdul Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win! The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. A freshman has won it for the Wolverines.
That was heartbreaking. No, so I just want to point this out real quick. So let me get out the video here real quick. So if you look at the stunned fans of Houston, the absolute stunned,
because they dominated that second half. Michigan had that game. Michigan controlled the first half, and Houston absolutely dominated about 19 minutes of the second half. And Michigan went on, their typical
tear
beeline run at the end of the game and took the lead. Then Houston retook the lead with 4 seconds left. And as a fan, I remember watching the game just like a second round.
Yeah.
Out in the second round. High hopes that they had, and this is what we're going to end up with. But
so you looked at the Houston fans in shock. You look at the players in shock. So they experienced the same exact feeling as Michigan fans did when they had the trouble with the snap.
Oh, stop.
So we got an update here right now. Mr. Andrew Lattin told us that Matt Prater has signed a 2-year deal with Arizona.
So they're loading up. They're loading up. Well, that means
Well, you know what though? Matt Prater, thanks for those years you had, but this last year you couldn't hit a fucking field goal.
He missed,
you couldn't hit a fucking extra point.
The one thing you could guarantee he was going to hit was a 50, and he was 50-50 from 50 or more. So, I mean, I'm not. That's one that is a good kicker, yeah, but he's a kicker.
Yeah.
And I know Pat McAfee would disagree with me, but they can get another kicker. I mean, whatever.
All right, let's get back to NCAA.
Right. Yeah. Back to it.
All right. So, who do you think will be the first number 1 seed to lose in the tournament?
Well, I did my bracket, and to me, the first number 1 that's going to lose, I think it's the number 1 overall. It's Gonzaga.
You really think so?
I do, but it's going to happen. I've got them going to the Elite Eight. I was going through my bracket today. There's a lot of good teams.
There is.
This tournament is absolutely loaded. And it's the tournament. You just never know. But yeah, I've got Gonzaga. For a little while I thought it was going to be Michigan, but I really do think that Juwan's going to get them going. He's going to have them ready to play. And so they don't necessarily have a horrible run to the Elite Eight.
I looked at that, and
they've not that any region is easy, but I think Michigan's probably
the least path of resistance.
Absolutely.
Really. Yeah.
So I do think that they're going to go far. I'm eating the maize and blue cornbread, and I got them winning it all because I think they've got their losing out of them, and Isaiah will be back at some point, which will help them. And I think some of their bench guys got enough experience in the Big Ten tournament. They got that kind of like big stage feel that I think it's going to really help them. But yeah, I think the Zags are going to be knocked out.
And I think Michigan's going to make a deep run. I'm still on the fence on whether or not they're going to win it all. They'll probably make it to the Final Four. I will say that. But they're also the team that let's just say I'd like to see them go to the Final Four. However, I feel that if anybody was going to lose first out of the number 1 seeds, it's going to be Michigan.
Well, Vegas thinks that too. They did agree that they were a 1 seed, but they said they're the most vulnerable of the 4.
And it's not like they can't. I think they peaked too early. I think that they peaked too early.
Maybe the case.
And them not having livers is going to be a tough for them.
Losing in the semis could be a two prong for Michigan. 1, so close, but yet so far.
Yep.
So that hunger, and number 2, give them a couple extra days rest, which
helps.
It does help.
I think, and everybody is like, well, Michigan State, it's March. I'm sorry, but as much as I'm not a Spartan guy, but you know what, though, I'm not going to sleep on them. I'm definitely, I think they're playing UCLA in the first round game.
This is probably the biggest play-in game matchup in the history of the play-in games.
Oh yeah. I got to stand up.
UCLA, Michigan State. Yeah, I agree with you. when the tournament time comes, Izzo, he just has the knack.
He does.
And I've got him going, and I've got him going pretty far. If I might, I think I've got them going into the Elite Eight or the Sweet 16. They have the ability. Again, anybody in the tournament has the ability, especially this year, to make a run. All bets are off. I mean, everyone's same record, and knowing that really everyone's betting against Michigan.
Your season starts,
right? Absolutely.
Your season. When it comes to it, you played a bunch of exhibition warm-up games to get you into that selection, and then the season really starts now. I'm a big fan of the. I'm a fan of them how they're doing the bubbling, and they're going to play all the games in
Indiana.
And what I think that's going to do, it's going to be tough on the players because it's when you're in the NHL, when you did in the NHL, those guys get paid a lot of money, and they had a lot of perks.
Sure.
NBA, same thing. Those guys had a lot of perks. I don't think that the collegiate players are going to get said perks. So I think it's going to be a little bit tougher on them. But
they're basically locked in their hotel rooms.
But I like that for the simple fact that we're planning on not having any stoppages. It's going to be where we're going to get in there and everything like that. Derek said that the first number one to be gone will be Baylor. It could happen.
It could happen.
It definitely could happen.
I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
But the thing about it is, it's these kids, how bad do they want it? And
I don't necessarily think it's how bad do they want it. I think it's
it's going to take.
It's going to be it's like I said, it's a mental grind and it's a physical grind. So they're going to have to overcome the mental grind of like,
sure.
All right, hey, we just won a big game. Going back to my hotel room.
Yeah, that's true. And these kids are used to going back on campus and whatnot. But there's a goal. You're there for one reason, and it's to win the championship game. But what I was thinking before was, yesterday at 6:00 was the deadline, and no teams had any issues. So every team, because there was 4 teams that were on kind of like standby, no issues. So that's good for the programs, and I think that's good for the NCAA tournament. So obviously we who the number one. Who do you see as a sleeper team? Have you thought about that?
My sleeper team is going to be Michigan State because but they got the thing is it's not going to be an easy game for them going against UCLA. But I think that it's Izzo. I'm sorry. As much as I don't like him, I think that's going to be the X factor on my sleeper. I think if they come out and they handle their business against UCLA, they have a damn good shot.
Here's my sleeper, and I don't think they're going to go too far, but it's very intriguing, and they were kind of the Cinderella story 2 or 3 years ago. It's Loyola Chicago. They're going to have Sister Jean, who's 101. They're ranked pretty high. I was surprised when I was going through the brackets. I saw how high they were ranked.
Oh my God.
I see them winning 2 games, and they're going to play the Fighting Illini, I believe, in the round of 32.
Yeah.
And they're going to give them a fight. But that team intrigues me. That team definitely intrigues me. So we'll see. I think Sister Jean gave him a boost when a couple years ago when she was at every game, and she became like the rally monkey, or what was that, the
rally goose
here at the Copa. But yeah, so I think the Loyola Chicago will be.
Derek said his sleeper is going to be Alabama. Was that Alabama the musical group, or is that the basketball team? Because is it the football team? Is Saban coaching basketball now?
Let me tell you,
what's going on?
The SEC, not just a football conference. It seems they really
SEC regular season conference turn.
Yeah, they were ranked, I believe, number 5 in the country, and I don't know if they're a sleeper team, because them and Arkansas really made a lot of noise.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun to watch. The playing games start tomorrow night, and then the tournament round 1 starts on Friday, and round 1s and 2 will go to Monday. So the days are a little different, and then next week it's Saturday through Tuesday, so it's a little bit different, but nonetheless, it's going to be exciting to watch, and you can do a bracket all day long. What's the percentage? Has anybody ever got a perfect bracket? I mean, the percentage is probably.
You hoping that's for that $500,000?
Oh yeah, I can pay this bad boy off and get some extras.
Pay my house off too while you're at it.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, it is what it is. So anyway, all right, we're running up against the clock here, but we are going to try our damnedest this weekend to maybe do a broadcast somewhere. Don't know if it's entirely going to happen, but
not in the state of Michigan.
Yeah, so we're heading down to
South Kakalaki.
Yeah, heading down to South Carolina for an extended weekend. Spend some time with some family, and
there will be some video.
Yeah, we're going to take some video.
We're going to go to some breweries and some barbecue places, and we're going to bring that stuff to you guys.
It might be a couple of weeks by the time we get back and do the film editing and stuff like that. But yeah, that's one of the things. And it's kind of showcase kind of how we did the the butchery, where just go in and we don't have a huge cult following in South Carolina, but.
I think what 2?
But I don't think we have those. I don't have those. But we'll figure something out. But anyway, so yeah, I'm excited to get back. If not this week, maybe next Wednesday. We'll
stimmy hit.
Oh, the stimmy hit,
which is going to send us into a different direction.
Well, let's not get to that just yet.
We'll just say
let's hold that one tight to our chest.
Yeah, there's some good things happening. Some good quality things that you guys will definitely notice here within the next couple weeks, I would say. And
okay, fine. I'll tell everybody what we're doing.
Yeah, you can't keep secrets.
So what we're doing is we're combining our stimmy money, our Biden bucks. Tom's going to Thailand to complete the change.
I'm gonna become fluent in ping pong.
His nickname or his name is gonna be. I don't even know. I can't even say it.
Oh, you're the punchline.
Exactly.
You just mangled the punchline.
I did.
But I am not having a sex change. No, so if that's what you were insinuating,
that's what we're doing.
I would need to have children to get me an extra 1,400 Biden bucks to make that happen. I can't claim my dogs, so
yeah. But no, we're gonna hopefully get a couple things going to boost the production value of the show, and we'll see how that goes.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, on that note, it's been real. You guys have a good one. Be safe, be well. Don't do anything dumb.
And if you're drinking, do not drive on this St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you for listening to another episode
you guys have a good
Easy
one.
Speak.
We're out.
Speak Easy 330. You can catch us every week at ilogicmedia.com.